I need you to understand something before I tell you this story. I'm a 911 dispatcher. I've been doing this for 8 years. I've talked people through childbirth, heart attacks, home invasions. I've heard a lot of fear in my life. But nothing prepared me for the call I received on October 14th, 2023 at 11:47 p.m. Because the woman on the other end of that line, she'd been dead for 6 days. And I can prove it. Welcome to the faint whisper, where missing person files don't end, they echo.
We have breaking news from Mercer County, where authorities have suspended the search near mile marker 17. An abandoned vehicle was discovered hours ago.
My name is Aaron Voss. I work the overnight shift at the Mercer County Emergency Operations Center 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., Wednesday through Saturday. Most nights it's quiet. Drunk drivers, domestic disputes, the occasional false alarm from the high school. October 14th started like any other shift. I clocked in at 9:52 p.m., made coffee, checked the weather, clear skies, low of 48 degrees, no precipitation expected. My supervisor, Linda, was working the adjacent console. We had maybe 4 calls in the first hour, nothing serious. At 11:33 p.m., I took a call from a guy who thought he saw a bear in his trash cans. It was a raccoon. I advised him to secure his bins and ended the call at 11:39. I logged it, wrote the notes, stretched, refilled my coffee. At 11:47 p.m., the line rang again. I answered the way I always do. Mercer County 911, what's your emergency? There was silence. Not dead air, I could hear something. A faint rustling. Wind, maybe. Then a voice. Female. Quiet. Strained. I'm lost. I pulled up a new incident screen. Okay, ma'am, I can help you. Can you tell me where you are? I don't know. I've been driving for hours. My GPS stopped working. My phone has no signal. I don't know where I am. Her voice was shaking but controlled. Scared, but trying not to panic. I've heard that tone 1,000 times. That's okay, I said. We'll figure it out. Are you on a highway or a back road? A back road. It's 2 lanes, no lights. I haven't seen another car in I don't even know how long. Do you see any mile markers? Any street signs? A pause. I heard her breathing. Then, yeah, there's a marker, mile marker 17, and a sign that says County Road 12. I typed it in. County Road 12, mile marker 17. I knew that stretch. It's a rural route that cuts through the state forest, mostly used by hunters and locals. Not much out there. No cell towers for miles. Okay, good. You're on County Road 12. That's in Mercer County. You're actually not too far from town. If you keep heading east, you'll hit Route 6 in about 12 miles. There's a gas station there. Can you do that? I think so, but my gas light came on. I don't know if I'll make it. What kind of car are you driving? A Honda Accord, silver, 2019. I made a note. And what's your name? Another pause, longer this time. Rachel Domingo. I stopped typing. I'd heard that name recently, very recently. Rachel, I said slowly. Can you spell your last name for me? Domingo. My stomach dropped. I glanced over at Linda. She was on another call, facing away from me. I pulled up the county alert database and typed in Rachel Domingo. The file came up immediately. Missing person. Reported October 9th. Vehicle found abandoned at mile marker 17, County Road 12. Last seen October 8th. Search suspended October 13th. I stared at the screen. My hands went cold. Rachel, I said carefully, where have you been for the last 6 days? What? She sounded confused. 6 days? No. I left Harrisburg this afternoon. I was driving home to visit my mom. I've only been on the road a few hours. What's today's date, Rachel? It's October 8th, Sunday. My heart was pounding now. I looked at the clock on my screen. October 14th, 11:49 p.m. Rachel, listen to me very carefully. What time did you leave Harrisburg? Around 4 p.m. Why? What's going on? I didn't answer. I pulled up the incident map and dropped a pin at mile marker 17. Then I opened the search records from the missing person case. According to the file, Rachel's car had been found on October 9th at 7:18 a.m. by a state trooper. The doors were unlocked. Her purse, phone, and keys were inside. No signs of struggle. No blood. No footprints. The K9 unit tracked her scent to the edge of the tree line and lost it. They searched for 4 days. Nothing. And now she was calling me. "Rachel," I said, keeping my voice steady, "I need you to stay calm. Can you describe exactly where you are right now?" "I'm pulled over, on the shoulder. There's woods on both sides. The road is empty." "Is your car running?" "No, I turned it off to save gas." "Okay. I want you to start your car and turn on your headlights. Can you do that?" I heard the engine turn over. A few seconds later, "Okay, it's on." "Good. Now I'm going to send a unit to your location, but I need you to stay in the car with the doors locked. Do not get out. Do not open the door for anyone except a uniformed officer. Do you understand?" "You're scaring me. What's happening?" "You're going to be fine. Just stay in the car." I muted the line and turned to Linda. "I need a unit to County Road 12, mile marker 17, possible 1053. Linda looked up. "What kind of 1053? I hesitated. "A 1053 is a stranded motorist." But that wasn't what this was. I didn't know what this was. "Just send someone," I said. She radioed it in. "Unit 23, Deputy Harlan acknowledged. ETA 14 minutes. I unmuted the line. "Rachel, a deputy is on the way. Should be there in about 15 minutes. "Okay." Her voice was quieter now. "Thank you. Can you stay on the line with me until he gets there?" Yeah, I can do that." I heard her breathing, the hum of her engine, the faint rustle of wind through the phone. "Rachel," I said, "have you seen anyone else out there? Any other cars? Any people?" "No one. It's completely empty." "What about before you pulled over? Did you pass anyone?" "No. I haven't seen another car since I got on this road. That's why I'm so freaked out. Where is everyone?" I didn't have an answer for that. We sat in silence for a moment. Then I asked, "Rachel, do you remember anything unusual happening before you got lost?" "Like what?" "Anything. A weird sound, a strange light, anything out of the ordinary." She thought about it. Okay, this is going to sound stupid. "Tell me." "There was a radio station. I was flipping through channels because I lost my podcast signal, and I found this station. It was playing this old song. Something from the 60s, I think. And the DJ came on after and said, 'You're listening to 104.7, the voice of the valley.' But the thing is, the signal was crystal clear. Like, perfect. And I'm in the middle of nowhere. Do you remember the song?" "Not really. It was something slow. A woman singing." I made a note. "Is the radio still on?" "No, I turned it off when I pulled over." "Okay, can you turn it back on? Try to find that station again." I heard her fumbling with the dial. Static. More static. Then, a voice. Clear, calm, female. "You're listening to 104.7, the voice of the valley." Rachel gasped. "That's it. That's the station." "Leave it on," I said. The voice continued. "It's 11:52 p.m. on this beautiful October evening. Coming up next, we have a special request. This one goes out to Rachel." Rachel's breathing stopped. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. I didn't respond. I was staring at my screen, my mind racing. The song started. Slow, melancholy. A woman's voice, singing about a lost love and a long road home. And then, beneath the music, I heard something else. A faint whisper. "Aaron?" Rachel's voice cut through. "Aaron, did you hear what she said? She said my name." I heard it. I was already typing, pulling up FCC records for radio stations in Mercer County. There were 3, 98.3, 102.1, and 106.9. No 104.7. I expanded the search to a 50-mile radius. Still nothing. "How does she know my name?" "I don't know, Rachel, but I need you to stay calm. The deputy is close, 7 minutes out." I could hear the music still playing through her speakers. That woman's voice, singing about highways and headlights and coming home. And underneath it, barely audible, that whisper. I couldn't make out words, just a susurrus, like wind through dead leaves. Aaron, I want to get out of here. I'm just going to drive. I'll head east like you said.
No, stay where you are. The deputy needs to find you.
But what if… Rachel, listen to me. You need to trust me right now. Do not drive. Do not leave that spot. She went quiet. I could hear her crying softly. I looked over at Linda. She'd finished her call and was watching me with a concerned expression. I gestured for her to come over. What's going on? She asked, leaning close. The missing person from last week, Rachel Domingo. She's on the line. Linda's eyes widened. That's not possible. Her case was… I know, but she's calling from her cell phone, and she says it's October 8th. She doesn't know she's been missing. Linda stared at me. Aaron, her phone was in her car. We have it. It's in evidence. I know that too. We looked at each other. Neither of us said what we were both thinking. Unit 23 is almost there, Linda said finally. Let Harlan sort it out. I nodded and went back to the line. Rachel, the deputy is 3 minutes away. You should see his light soon. Okay? Her voice was small, fragile. The song on her radio ended. There was a moment of silence. Then the DJ's voice returned. That was The Long Road by Sylvia Marsh, a special request for Rachel. And now a reminder. The exit is just ahead. Mile marker 17. Take the next left turn. You're almost home. Rachel inhaled sharply. Aaron, there's no left turn here. I'm looking right now. It's just trees. Don't move, I said. She's talking to me, the DJ. She's giving me directions. Ignore it. Keep your doors locked. I heard her fumbling with something. I'm checking the locks now. Okay, they're locked. Then, faintly, I heard a new sound through the phone, a siren. Rachel, do you hear that? Do you see the lights? Yes, I see them. Oh, thank God. I watched my screen. Unit 23's GPS showed Deputy Harlan approaching mile marker 17 on County Road 12, 200 yards, 100 yards. He's pulling up behind you right now, I said. I see him. Okay, I'm going to stay on the line. When he taps on your window, you can unlock the door. Okay? I heard the siren cut off. Footsteps. A knock on glass. Ma'am, Mercer County Sheriff's Department. That was Harlan's voice. I recognized it. He's been with the department for 12 years. Good officer, level-headed. I heard Rachel's door unlock, the sound of it opening. Are you Rachel Domingo? Harlan asked. Yes. What's going on? The dispatcher said, Ma'am, I need you to step out of the vehicle for me. Why? What's wrong? Just step out, please. I heard the rustle of movement. Rachel's breathing was faster now. Dispatch, this is Unit 23. Harlan's voice came through the radio. Linda answered. Go ahead, Unit 23. I'm at mile marker 17. I've got a female driver, silver Honda Accord. She says her name is Rachel Domingo. But dispatch, there's something wrong here. What do you mean? Linda asked. There was a long pause. When Harlan spoke again, his voice was tight, uncertain. The car. It's the same car we found last week. Same license plate, same VIN. But it's running. The engine is warm, and the interior looks lived in. There's a coffee cup in the holder, still warm. My blood went cold. Unit 23, Linda said. Can you confirm the identity of the female? Stand by. I heard Harlan talking to Rachel in the background, asking for her license. I heard her digging through her purse. Here, Rachel said. Here's my license. A pause. Dispatch. The license matches. Rachel Domingo, date of birth, March 15th, 1994. This is her. Linda looked at me. I looked back. Neither of us moved. Unit 23, Linda said carefully. Ask her what today's date is. I heard Harlan relay the question. It's October 8th, Rachel said. Why does everyone keep asking me that? Another pause. Then, Harlan's voice, quieter now. Ma'am, I need to ask you something. Where have you been for the last 6 days? 6 days? What are you talking about? I left Harrisburg this afternoon. Ma'am, please calm down. I just need to. Why are you saying 6 days? What is happening? I heard her voice rising, panicked. I unmuted my line. Rachel, it's Aaron. I'm still here. I need you to take a deep breath. Aaron, what is he talking about? I didn't know how to answer that. I glanced at Linda. She shook her head. Harlan came back on the radio. Dispatch, I'm going to need a supervisor out here, and maybe EMS. She's disoriented, doesn't know what day it is. I think she might be suffering from exposure or... He stopped mid-sentence. Unit 23, Linda said. Deputy Harlan, what's your status? Silence. Unit 23, please respond. More silence. Then, faintly, I heard Harlan's voice through Rachel's phone. Ma'am, get back in your car. What? Why? Get in your car right now and lock the doors. You're scaring me. Do it, now. I heard the car door slam, the locks engage. Then Harlan on the radio. Dispatch, I need backup at mile marker 17, immediate. Linda's voice was sharp. What's going on out there? There's someone in the woods. I just saw them. They were standing about 30 yards off the road, watching us. Can you describe them? I can't. It's too dark. But they were there. I saw them. Do you still see them? No, they moved back into the trees. I heard Rachel's voice through the phone, high and terrified. Aaron, what's happening? You're okay, I said, though I didn't believe it. Deputy Harlan is right there with you. Who was in the woods? Who was watching us? I don't know. Harlan came back on the radio. Dispatch, I'm doing a perimeter check. Tell the subject to stay in her vehicle. Copy that, Linda said. I watched Harlan's GPS dot on my screen. It wasn't moving. He should have been walking, circling the car, but the dot just sat there at mile marker 17. Unit 23, Linda called. Deputy Harlan? No response. Unit 23, respond. Nothing. I unmuted Rachel's line. Rachel, can you see the deputy? No. He walked toward the trees with his flashlight. I can see the light, but I can't see him. Okay, stay in the car. I want to leave, please. I just want to go home. I know, but you need to stay put. Backup is coming. Linda had already dispatched Unit 17 and Unit 9, ETA 9 minutes. I stared at my screen. Harlan's GPS dot hadn't moved in over a minute. Rachel, I said quietly, is the deputy's flashlight still on? A pause. Yes, but it's not moving. It's just pointing at the ground. Can you honk your horn? What? Honk your horn. Get his attention. I heard the horn blare through the phone. Once, twice, 3 times. The flashlight didn't move. Aaron, something's wrong. I know, just stay calm. The radio is back on. What? The radio. It turned on by itself. I heard the static hiss through her phone, then the voice. That same calm female voice. You're listening to 104.7, the voice of the valley. It's 11:59 p.m. Time is running out, Rachel. You should have taken the left turn. Rachel's breathing was ragged now. There is no left turn. What does that mean? The voice continued, unperturbed. The exit is closing. If you want to go home, you need to leave now. Start the car. Drive east. Don't look back. Aaron, don't listen to it, I said. Do not drive. But the deputy, backup is 5 minutes away. Stay where you are. I heard her crying. Soft, broken sounds. Then, through the phone, I heard something else. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate, coming from outside the car. Rachel, I whispered. Do you hear that? Yes. Where is it coming from? I don't know. It sounds like it's all around me. The footsteps stopped. Rachel, do you see anyone? No, I can't see anything. It's too dark. Then the voice on the radio spoke again, but this time it wasn't the DJ. It was Rachel's voice. Help me, it said. I'm at mile marker 17. Please, someone help me. Rachel screamed. Rachel, I shouted into the line. Rachel, talk to me. She was hyperventilating. I could hear her gasping for air between sobs. It's my voice, she choked out. That's my voice on the radio. How is that my voice? I don't know, but I need you to breathe. Can you do that for me? In through your nose, out through your mouth. I heard her trying. Ragged inhales, shaky exhales. Linda was on the radio with Unit 17. ETA 3 minutes. Unit 9 is 4 minutes out. I checked Harlan's GPS again. Still stationary. I pulled up his body camera feed. All deputies in Mercer County wear them. The feed loaded, but the screen was black. Not disconnected, just black. Like the camera was pointed at the ground. Or covered. Rachel, I need you to look around very carefully. Tell me exactly what you see. I told you, trees, road, darkness. What about the deputy's car? Is it still behind you? A pause. Yes, the lights are still on. And the flashlight. It's gone. I don't see it anymore. Okay, keep your eyes forward. Don't look at the woods. Why not? Because I didn't trust what she might see there. Just trust me. The radio in her car was still playing, but it wasn't music anymore. It was just her voice, over and over, on a loop. Help me. I'm at mile marker 17. Please, someone help me. Make it stop, Rachel whispered. Please make it stop. Can you turn off the radio? I tried. It won't turn off. The knob doesn't work. I heard her hitting something, presumably the dashboard. Rachel, don't panic. Just the clock, she interrupted. Aaron, the clock in my car, it's not moving. What do you mean? It says 11:59. It's been 11:59 for I don't know how long. It's stuck. I looked at my screen. 12:04 a.m., October 15th now. Check your phone, I said. What time does your phone say? I can't. I told you, I don't have signal. The screen won't even turn on properly. It's just frozen. A cold feeling crept up my spine. Unit 17, what's your ETA? Linda barked into the radio. 1 minute out. I'm approaching mile marker 19. Do you have visual on Unit 23?
Negative, not yet.
I watched the GPS. Unit 17 was closing in. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. Then the deputy's voice. Dispatch, I'm at mile marker 17. I see Unit 23's vehicle. Lights on. Driver's door open. But I don't see Harlan. And I don't see another vehicle. My stomach dropped. Say again, Unit 17? There's no silver Honda Accord, just Harlan's cruiser.
Rachel's breathing stopped.
Aaron? I'm here. He says there's no car, but I'm here. I'm right here. Linda and I exchanged looks. She grabbed her cell phone and dialed Harlan directly. I could hear it ringing. Once, twice, then it went to voicemail. Unit 17, Linda said. Do you see Deputy Harlan anywhere? Negative. I'm checking the tree line now. Unit 9, what's your position? 2 minutes out. I unmuted Rachel's line. My mouth was dry. Rachel, I need you to answer something honestly. Do you see the deputy's car right now? The one you said was behind you? Yes, I'm looking at it right now. It's right there. Can you describe it? It's a sheriff's cruiser, white and green. Number 23 on the side. The light bar is on. That matched. Exactly. Rachel, I need you to do something for me. Flash your headlights. High beams. 3 times. Why? Just do it. I heard her click the high beams. Once, twice, 3 times. I was watching Unit 17's body camera feed now. The deputy was standing on County Road 12, his flashlight scanning the area. I could see Harlan's empty cruiser in the frame, but there was no silver Honda, no flashing lights. Unit 17, I said directly into the radio. Did you see any headlights just now? Any flashing?
Negative, dispatch. There's nothing out here.
Rachel heard that. No, she breathed. No, that's not possible. I'm here. I'm right here. I know, I said, though I didn't. I didn't know anything anymore. Unit 17, check the vehicle. See if you can find Deputy Harlan's radio or body camera. I watched the feed as the deputy approached Harlan's cruiser. He leaned in through the open driver's door. Dispatch, his radio is here. Still on. And his body camera is on the dash. Looks like it fell off. Is the camera damaged? Negative. It looks fine. But it's not recording. It's just off. I pulled up Harlan's camera feed again. Still black. Unit 9 arriving on scene, the radio crackled. Now there were 2 deputies at mile marker 17. I could see them both on Unit 17's camera, standing in the middle of an empty road, surrounded by dark trees. No sign of Harlan, no sign of Rachel's car. But Rachel was still on my line. Aaron, please, you have to believe me. I'm here. I believe you. Then why can't they see me? I didn't have an answer. The voice on her radio spoke again. Not her voice this time. The DJ. Last call, Rachel. The exit is closing. If you don't leave now, you'll miss your chance. Chance for what? Rachel shouted at the radio. What are you talking about? To go home. I'm trying to go home. No, the voice said softly. You're trying to go back. Silence. Then Rachel, quieter. What does that mean? The voice didn't answer. The radio went dead. True dead. Not even static. Rachel, I said carefully, I need to ask you something, and I need you to think very carefully before you answer. Okay? What's the last thing you remember before you got on County Road 12? She was quiet for a long moment. I was on Route 6, heading west. I needed to cut through to get to my mom's house. I saw the turnoff for County Road 12 and I took it. What time was that? I don't know, maybe 6:30? It was just getting dark. And after you turned onto County Road 12, what happened? I drove. I was listening to a podcast, and then I lost signal, and I switched to the radio, and I found that station, 104.7. Did you pass anything? Any landmarks? Other cars?
No, nothing. It was just road.
For how long? She trailed off. I don't know. I don't remember. It felt like maybe an hour, but that doesn't make sense. County Road 12 isn't that long. She was right. County Road 12 was only 16 miles from Route 6 to the East Junction. At normal speed, it should have taken 20 minutes, 30 at most. Rachel, do you remember stopping for gas or food, anything? No, I just drove. And then my GPS stopped working, and I got scared, and I pulled over, and I called you. I pulled up the missing person file again. Rachel Domingo had left Harrisburg on October 8th at approximately 4:15 p.m. She'd texted her mother at 5:47 p.m. saying she'd be there by 8:30. She never arrived. Her car was found the next morning at mile marker 17 abandoned. Rachel, I said slowly, when you got on County Road 12, it was just getting dark. You said around 30.
Yeah.
And you drove for about an hour. I think so. So it should have been around 7:30 when you pulled over.
I guess, but I didn't look at the clock.
But when you called me, you said it was 11:47. She went quiet. That's a 4-hour gap, Rachel. What happened in those 4 hours? I don't know. I was just driving. For 4 hours? On a 16-mile road? Her breathing picked up again. That doesn't make sense. I know. What's happening to me? I wished I had an answer. Unit 17's voice came over the radio. Dispatch, we've completed a perimeter search. No sign of Deputy Harlan, no sign of any other individual or vehicle. Requesting K9 unit. Linda acknowledged and started making calls. I stared at my screen, at Rachel's name in the database, at the notes from the original search. And then I saw something I'd missed before. There was a recovered items list. Personal effects found in her vehicle on October 9th. One cell phone, iPhone 12, locked. One purse, brown leather. One wallet containing ID and credit cards. One coffee cup, Starbucks, half full. I scrolled down to the evidence photos. There was a picture of the interior of her car, the driver's seat, the dashboard, the center console. And there, in the cup holder, was a Starbucks cup. The same cup Rachel had just mentioned, the one that was still warm when Harlan arrived. I zoomed in on the photo. The side of the cup had a name written in black marker, Rachel, and beneath the name, a timestamp from the Starbucks label, 10/8, 5:23 p.m., October 8th, the day she disappeared. The day she thought it still was. Aaron, Rachel's voice pulled me back. Are you still there? I'm here. I want to try something. What? I'm going to drive, just to the next mile marker. Maybe if I move, they'll be able to see me.
Rachel, no. Stay where you are.
I can't just sit here. You have 2 deputies out there, and they can't see me. Something is wrong. Something is very, very wrong, and I need to move. Listen to me. I'm sorry, Aaron, but I have to try. I heard the car shift into drive. Rachel, don't. The line went dead. Rachel! I slammed my hand on the desk. Rachel, can you hear me? Dead air. I checked the call log. The line showed as disconnected. I tried calling back. It rang once, then went straight to a generic voicemail. The number you have reached is not available. Dispatch, this is Unit 17. We just heard an engine. Sounded like it came from the east, but we can't see any headlights. I pulled up the live GPS map. Unit 17 and 9 were stationary at mile marker 17. There were no other vehicles on County Road 12. The road was empty for miles in either direction. Unit 17, proceed east on County Road 12. Look for a silver Honda Accord. Driver is Rachel Domingo. Copy that. I watched their GPS dots start moving. Linda was coordinating with K9 and trying to reach Harlan's cell again. Still nothing. My phone rang. Personal cell. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello? Aaron. It was Rachel's voice, shaking, terrified. Aaron, I can see them. Rachel, where are you? Are you okay? I'm driving. I'm heading east like you said. But Aaron, there are people on the side of the road. A chill ran through me. What people? I don't know. They're just standing there, in the trees, watching me drive past. There are so many of them. Can you describe them? I can't see their faces. It's too dark. But they're not moving. They're just standing there. And Aaron, her voice dropped to a whisper. I think one of them is wearing a uniform, like a police uniform. My blood ran cold. Rachel, do not stop. Do not slow down. Keep driving. I'm trying. But the road, Aaron, the mile markers aren't changing. I passed mile marker 17 2 minutes ago. I've been driving, but I just passed mile marker 17 again, the same marker. I pulled up the county road map. County Road 12 ran in a straight line, east to west. There was no loop, no way to pass the same marker twice unless you turned around. Rachel, are you sure you're going east? Yes, I haven't turned. I'm going straight, but I keep passing the same marker, mile marker 17, over and over. How many times? I don't know, 5, 6? It doesn't make sense. It didn't. None of this made sense. Unit 17, what's your position? Passing mile marker 19, still no visual on any vehicle. They were ahead of where Rachel claimed to be, but if Rachel was looping past mile marker 17, they wouldn't see her. She'd be behind them, stuck. Rachel, I need you to stop the car. No, I'm not stopping. I'm getting out of here. You're not getting out. You're looping. Stop the car. I can't. Why not? Because they're following me now. The people in the woods. Every time I pass them, there are more of them, and they're getting closer to the road. I could hear the engine revving through the phone. She was accelerating. Rachel, slow down. You're going to crash. I don't care. I just want to get out of here. You won't get out by driving faster. You're in a loop. You need to stop and... Wait. Her voice changed. Wait, there's something different. What? There's a turn, a left turn. There wasn't a turn before, but it's here now. There's a small road going into the woods. The DJ's voice echoed in my memory. Take the next left turn. You're almost home. Rachel, do not take that turn. Why not? Maybe it's a way out. It's not. Trust me, it's not. How do you know? Because people who take strange turns in the woods don't come back. Because this whole thing felt like a trap. Because every instinct I had was screaming at me that this was wrong. Just trust me, I said. I heard her car slowing. I'm at the turn. There's a sign. It says Picnic Grove 12. I've never heard of that. I searched the county database. No Picnic Grove 12, no recreational area by that name anywhere in Mercer County. It's not real, I said. Keep driving straight. But what if this is the way out? What if this is how I get off this road? Rachel, I'm taking it. No, I heard the crunch of gravel. The engine note changed as she turned. Rachel, turn around right now. I can't. It's too narrow. The trees are too close. Then back up. I'm trying. I heard the transmission shift into reverse. The high-pitched beep of a backup sensor. Then a thud. Rachel screamed. What happened?
There's someone behind me. Someone is standing right behind my car.
Can you see who it is? No, they're just a shadow, but they're not moving. They're just standing there, blocking the road. Go forward. Just go forward. But the road? I don't care. Drive. I heard the engine revving. The car lurched forward. Rachel was crying now, gasping between words. The road is getting narrower. The trees are so close. I can hear them scraping the sides of my car. How far have you gone? I don't know. Maybe a quarter mile? It feels like forever. Is there anything ahead of you? Any light?
No, just darkness. Just trees. Wait.
What? I see something. There's a clearing. I think there's a building. My hands were shaking. What kind of building? I can't tell. It's small, like a cabin or a shed. There's a light on inside. Rachel, turn around right now. Turn around and go back to County Road 12. I can't. The road is too narrow, and the person who was behind me, they're walking toward me. I can see them in my rearview mirror. Lock your doors.
They're locked. They've been locked.
Then drive to the building. Get inside and lock the door behind you.
Are you insane? I'm not going in there.
Then what are you going to do? You're trapped on a one-lane road with someone walking toward you from behind. Your only option is forward. She was sobbing openly now. I don't want to die. You're not going to die. I'm right here with you. Just get to the building. I heard the engine accelerate. The scrape of branches against metal. Then the sound changed. She'd reached the clearing. Okay, I'm here. I'm turning off the engine. Can you see inside the building? There's a window. I can see. It looks like a room. There's a table, a chair, an old radio. A radio? Yeah, like an antique one. It's on. I can see the light from the dial. Is anyone inside? I don't think so. I can't see anyone. What about the person who was following you? A pause. They're gone. I don't see them anymore. Okay, get out of the car. Go into the building. And Rachel? Yeah, keep me on the line. I heard her door open. Footsteps on gravel. Her breathing, fast and shallow. Then the creak of an old door. I am inside. Lock the door. There's no lock, just a latch. Then close it and put something in front of it. I heard her dragging something heavy across the floor. Okay, done. Aaron, this place, it smells old, like rot and mildew, and it's cold, so cold.
Well, what else do you see?
The radio, the table, the chair, there's a cot in the corner, and there are things on the wall. What things? Papers, notes, they're taped up everywhere, and photos, Polaroids. Of what? A long silence. Rachel? They're photos of cars, different cars, on a road. And there are dates written on them, going back years. My throat went dry. What's the most recent date? I heard her walking closer. October 9th, 2023. That's the day after I left Harrisburg. Is there a photo with that date? Yes, it's a silver Honda Accord. Aaron, it's my car. This is a picture of my car. The room spun. I gripped the edge of my desk. And there's something written on it, in red marker. It says didn't turn. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what any of this means. I heard something in the background. A crackling sound. Rachel, what's that noise? It's the radio. It's turning on. Unplug it. There's no cord. It's battery powered. Or, I don't know. It's just on. Static filled the line. Then a voice. That same female voice from her car radio. Hello, Rachel. Rachel's breathing stopped. You made it. I'm so glad. I was worried you wouldn't find your way here. Who are you? Rachel whispered. I'm the voice of the valley. I've been waiting for you. We all have. Who's we? Everyone who took the turn. Everyone who's still on the road. I heard Rachel moving. Aaron, there are more photos. So many more. Different cars. Different dates. Going back to 1987. Rachel, get out of there. And there's a map. On the wall. It's a map of County Road 12. But it's wrong. It shows the road as a circle. A perfect circle. And in the center, it says, Picnic Grove 12. Point of no return. The voice on the radio spoke again. You've been on the road for 6 days, Rachel, driving the same 16 miles over and over. You just didn't know it. Time moves differently here, slower, faster. Sometimes it doesn't move at all. You've passed mile marker 17 412 times. That's not possible, Rachel breathed. You're right, it's not, but here you are. Why? Why is this happening? Because you didn't turn on October 8th at 11:59 p.m. I told you to turn left, to take the exit, but you stayed on the road. You kept driving straight, and so the road kept you. I don't understand. The road needs drivers, Rachel. It feeds on them, on their time, their presence. You're not the first. Look at the photos. You're just the latest. Rachel was crying again. How do I get out? Please, I just want to go home. There's only one way out. You have to make the choice you didn't make 6 days ago. You have to turn. Turn where? Back. Turn back to October 8th, to 11:59 p.m., to the moment before you called for help. And this time, when I tell you to turn left, you turn. Do you understand? No, I don't. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be done. I heard something outside the building. Footsteps, multiple sets, circling. Rachel, I said urgently, do you hear that? They're here, she whispered. The people from the woods. They're outside. How many? I don't know. A lot. They're surrounding the building. The voice on the radio said, they're waiting for you to decide. You can stay here with them, join them, become another photo on the wall, or you can go back. But you have to choose now. I don't know how to go back. Yes, you do. Close your eyes. Remember October 8th, 11:59 p.m. You're in your car. You're parked at mile marker 17. You're on the phone with Aaron. The radio turns on, and I tell you to turn left. What do? Rachel was shaking so hard I could hear it in her voice. I turn left. Say it like you mean it. I turn left. The static on the radio swelled. A high-pitched whine filled the line. I pulled the phone away from my ear. When I brought it back, everything was silent. Rachel? Rachel, are you there? Nothing. The call was still connected, but there was no sound, no breathing, no footsteps, nothing. Rachel! Then, faintly, I heard something. A voice. But it wasn't coming from the phone. It was coming from the radio on Linda's desk. The police scanner. Dispatch, this is Unit 23. I'm at mile marker 17. I've got a female driver, silver Honda Accord. She says her name is Rachel Domingo. I froze. That was Harlan's voice, but Harlan was missing. Harlan had been missing for 20 minutes. Linda grabbed the radio. Unit 23, Deputy Harlan, is that you? Affirmative, dispatch. Is there a problem? Linda and I stared at each other. What's your status? Linda asked carefully. I'm conducting a traffic stop. Female driver appears disoriented. She's claiming it's October 8th and doesn't know how she got here. October 8th, the day Rachel disappeared. My phone was still connected, still silent. I looked at the call timer. It read 00 or a cow, like the call had never happened. I opened the incident database, searched for Rachel Domingo. The file was there, missing person, reported October 9th, 2023. Status, unresolved. But there was a new note, timestamp, 12:14 a.m., October 15th, 2024. Subject vehicle located at mile marker 17 by Deputy Harlan, Unit 23. Driver found inside, disoriented but unharmed. Subject unable to account for missing time. Referred to EMS for evaluation. I read it 3 times. Then I checked the evidence photos. The picture of Rachel's car interior was different. The coffee cup was still there, but the timestamp on the label now read 10:14, 11:23 p.m. Today's date. Not October 8th. Today. Linda was on the radio with Unit 23, coordinating EMS. I sat at my desk, staring at my phone. The call log showed a 28-minute conversation with Rachel Domingo. Start time, 11:47 p.m., October 14th. End time, 12:15 a.m., October 15th. But according to Harlan, he'd just found her, right now, at 12:14 a.m., which meant when I was talking to her, when she was driving through that loop, when she found that building in the woods, none of it had happened yet. Or it had happened 6 days ago. Or it was happening right now, in some space between moments, where time folded back on itself like a road that never ends. I pulled up the body camera feed from Unit 23. It was working now. I could see Harlan standing next to a silver Honda Accord. Rachel was in the driver's seat, looking confused and scared. "Ma'am, can you step out of the vehicle for me?" Harlan asked. Rachel complied. She looked exactly like her photo. Brown hair, early 30s, wearing a blue jacket. "Can you tell me your name?" "Rachel Domingo." "And what's today's date?" She hesitated. "It's October 8th, isn't it?" Harlan glanced at his dash cam. "No, ma'am. It's October 15th. You've been missing for 6 days." Rachel's face went white. "That's not possible. I just left Harrisburg this afternoon. I was driving to my mom's house. I got lost and I called 911. The dispatcher, his name was Aaron. He told me to stay put. He said you were coming, and you came. And then—" She trailed off, looking around like she was seeing the road for the first time. "And then what?" Harlan prompted. "I don't remember. Everything after that is blurry, like a dream. I remember driving, and a radio station, and a building in the woods, but it doesn't make sense." Harlan called for EMS. I watched as they loaded Rachel into an ambulance 20 minutes later. She kept looking back at her car, confused, like she couldn't quite believe it was real. Before they closed the ambulance doors, she asked Harlan, "The dispatcher I talked to, Aaron, is he here?" "Dispatch is at the operations center, ma'am, but I can relay a message if you'd like." "Just tell him thank you. Tell him I made it out." Harlan nodded. The doors closed. The ambulance drove away. I sat in the quiet of the operations center, my coffee cold, my hands still shaking. Linda walked over. "You okay?" I didn't answer. I was thinking about the building Rachel described, the photos on the wall, all those cars, all those dates, all those people who didn't turn. "Aaron?" I looked up at her. "She called me from October 8th. Linda frowned. "What?" "When I talked to her. She was calling from 6 days ago, somehow, but she was also here tonight. Both things happened." "That doesn't make any sense." "I know." Linda studied me for a moment, then she said quietly, "You should go home. Get some sleep. This has been a weird night." I nodded, but I knew I wouldn't sleep, because I kept thinking about what the voice on the radio had said. The road needs drivers. It feeds on them. And I kept thinking about all those photos, all those cars, all those people still trapped on a 16-mile loop, driving past mile marker 17 over and over, unable to escape. Rachel got out. She made the choice. She turned. But how many others were still there? Still driving? Still waiting for someone to tell them which way to go? I looked at the incident map on my screen. County Road 12 was a straight line, east to west, no loops, no circles. But what if that's not what it was in the dark? What if at night, in that space between moments, it became something else? I pulled up the database and searched for missing persons along County Road 12, going back 10 years. 14 cases, 14 people, all last seen somewhere along that 16-mile stretch. All of their cars found abandoned. All of them at mile marker 17. I downloaded the files, printed the reports. I was going to do some research, because Rachel might be out. But I had a terrible feeling that the road wasn't done yet. And somewhere out there, in the dark, on a road that shouldn't exist, someone else's phone was ringing. Someone else was lost. Someone else was about to take the call. I just hoped they'd know which way to turn. If you're ever driving late at night and you find yourself on a back road you don't recognize, and the mile markers stop making sense, pay attention. If your radio picks up a station that shouldn't exist, one that knows your name, one that gives you directions you didn't ask for, listen carefully. And if a voice tells you to turn left, even when there's no road, even when it doesn't make sense, for God's sake, turn, because the alternative is worse. The alternative is driving that same stretch of road forever, Watching your clock freeze at 11:59, passing the same marker again and again while shadows gather at the tree line and wait for you to finally understand that you're not lost. You're kept. Mile marker 17 is still out there. County Road 12 is still waiting, and the road is always hungry. If this story kept you up tonight, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because there are more stories like this. More calls that came from places they shouldn't have. More roads that don't end. More whispers in the dark. This is the faint whisper, and we'll be here listening when the next call comes in. Drive safe out there. You never know what road you might turn down.
Disclaimer: The Faint Whisper shares fictional horror and mystery stories told in a true-feeling style for entertainment. These narratives are not presented as verified real events, and any resemblance to real people, places, or incidents is coincidental. Some visuals on this channel are created using AI generation tools. Viewer discretion is advised.